Hey everybody, back again. Gonna be doing Magneto today. Gonna be doing the classic Magneto, not any of the newer uncanny versions. Gonna go with the crimson and purple. Gonna be knocking this guy out here pretty quick. This layout was like super fast today. It took me maybe literally 30 seconds. I just hammered it out, and there we go. We have Magneto. So definitely on point with this one, I can tell. Been getting a lot of compliments about it when I showed the preview. You can just tell when you're on sometimes, and this one, hopefully I won't screw it up along the way, but yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We'll see. I may muck it up, I don't know. It's what you get for running your mouth, man. But, yeah, this character is one of my favorites. Not the top of the list for comic book villains, but pretty daggone close. I would put him in the top 5 at least. I don't think he crosses enough lines. He's more like a, dare I say, more like a Charles Manson type of character. Because of the way that he comes across. He always manipulates things, but he never really ties into it. And I wish they would let him do more of that in the comic book series. But yeah, it's really like that. They the powers that be at Marvel prefer to keep him at an arm's distance rather than letting him tear into stuff. And I mean, yeah, he's had a couple of throwdowns, but nothing like some of the other villains that are out there. And some people may disagree, but I think that's, most of his fights are subtle and power moves rather than hardcore, gritty, hands-on kind of fighting. But then again, too, in agreement, he's not that type of character, so. Oh, I totally get that. Have people freaking out on me. You're picking on Magneto, man. It's not like that. It's really not. Putting in the old metal bearings that he rolls around and always has with him. Since 2000, when the first movie came out from Fox, that this has just been a standard with Magneto these days. Everybody draws him with these things, so just want to follow suit there. This is one of my favorite characters to draw because he's so easy to produce. It's just one of those things I have a lot of fun drawing him. I know yellow spandex wasn't going to be a key thing in the films, but I really would have liked to have seen Magneto and to see Magneto and Wolverine in their top-notch costumes, you know, their prime costumes. That would have been awesome. Which for me was the brown costume. I didn't like the yellow and black, yellow, black, and blue costume for Wolverine is awesome, but it is what it is. It's to me, it's a little worn. But I would have preferred him in the black, or you know, the black patch costume, or the. He could have gone with the tactical costume of Future Past if they wanted to, at the studio, but they didn't. He would have been a much better character in that regard, I think, if he'd gone tactical. But that was their choice. So, personally, I'm a huge fan of the movies. I do like them. Even though they are Fox films, there are better films out there, comic book movies, but I like the films. I was hard on Age of Apocalypse because I thought he was going to look like Ivan Ooze, but they did a decent job on it. I mean, the story wasn't quite as solid as I wanted it to be, but I expected that too, though. But anyway, you know, being a Fox film, they're still trying to find their footing. So, and if you're a fan, don't send me your hate mail. Don't do that, please. It's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm a fan of all of it anyway. It's just, particularly that film wasn't my favorite. However, I did enjoy it for what it was. So, sorry about that. I had some pop-ups come up. I had to get rid of people chatting and stuff. I had to close that down. Now, I don't go with the Fassbender style of Magneto. I go with the traditional style of the comic book look. I just, nothing against him. I just don't do the likenesses as much. I stick with the comic book style rather than going off and, you know, making them look like the characters for the universe. And if I ever get a project with them, and the editor says, hey, make them look like the characters, you know, in the movies, that'll be something different. But for now, though, I'll stick with what I'm doing. I see more artists wanting to take the cinematic universe version and pull it in. And, you know, Disney's known for that with Marvel. They've been known for revamping properties based on the films, and I'm cool with that. But I don't want to draw those actors and actresses as likenesses just because I don't want to do something for a side project or a commission or something like that and then do it like that later and then not be able to sell it because of the fact that it looks like that. So that's a personal choice. I see a lot more artists doing a lot more prints and things like that as well. And I personally disagree with that and think that's a bad business decision. Because even though they do allow for it, with sketch covers and things like that, if you're selling the originals, that's one thing. But if you're selling the prints, I'm kind of on the fence on that one, because I don't want people selling prints of my books later. You know what I mean? Of my characters later. I have a big stickling point for that, and it's just one of those personal ethic choices. And that's. I had a big meeting with my attorneys over that here recently to make sure that all that stuff wouldn't happen once the new books came out and whatever. I'm not going to be allowing people just to draw this stuff free will all over the place, because I'm working too hard to build my brand, with my books right now. And if you disagree with that, and if you're a Marvel sketch cover guy and you do a bunch of prints and stuff off of it, that's your choice. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, I just don't agree with it. So, is what it is. I'm not knocking it. However, I have seen a lot of secondhand artists make a ton of money off of mainstream commercial properties, which they know that they're selling as books and things like that, and they shouldn't be. They'll sell print-ups of pin-up books, things like that. Don't do that. If you're a legitimate artist out there, don't do that, because you'll get busted eventually. They may not get you today, they may not get you tomorrow, but down the line, when they clamp down on it, they will crack down, and they're going to get you. So, just my advice and my 2 cents on it. I mean, like I said, do what you want to do. I'm constantly telling people that I work with not to do that, because that's going to bite them in the butt. And when it does, it's going to be bad. Because if you build your career off of everybody else's characters and you're not working for that company, it's going to bite you. But, I mean, I'm drawing this right now as an original. And just for anybody that questions it, I draw this as one time, one off. And then if I sell this card or promote this card or, give this card away for some reason, that's a totally different aspect of it than selling prints of other people's copyrighted material. Just keep that in mind. Because I don't want anybody, I got called a hypocrite this morning over that right there. And the thing is, I don't sell that stuff. I don't go make 50 prints of them and sell them, at cons or whatever. But, I mean, I have done prints before. But I got out of that habit because of that right there. Because I don't want a bunch of stuff circulated around, And I've done pieces for friends and things like that, and then they'll turn them into little prints and stuff for cons and whatever. And I'm cool with that too. If the convention wants to take responsibility for it, that's one thing. But I don't want to be somebody that puts a bunch of artwork out there and then says, hey, I did that and I made money off of this guy's comic book, and then be mad whenever they come and do the same thing to mine if they do. So, because everybody's like, hey, you stole my stuff, And like I said, I'm not going on a rant here or anything like that. I'm just talking. So, just talking a little bit today. So, take it with a grain of salt and do your thing. If you feel comfortable with that, you go for it. I'm not going to knock it, and I'm not going to go crazy and unfriend you or anything like that. It's just for my personal standard, I don't do that. I use these because these are well-known characters. I'm showing respect to them and respect to their creators. And that's why I always tag everything that I do. I tag it with the company so they clearly know where it belongs. I do that on purpose. But because I get asked about that a lot too. Well, why do you tag your videos? You know, Marvel's going to see that. Well, good. I want Marvel to see that. I want them to see my work. No matter if it's their character or an original piece or, you know, whatever. I want them to see that work. So, and the funny thing is it doesn't have backlash because of the fact that I get, like I said, I give out the original pieces. So, but anyway, as far as this goes, this guy right here rocks, man. I love this character. I want to see more of him in the comic books and prefer him as Magneto and not Joseph or any of that, you know, going on, which is fine. I dig the character. I like him as an ally to the X-Men, but it's much more preferable if I see him as a classic villain. But again, that's just a personal observation. So, and all the modern suits have these little ridges right here. You ever noticed that? And that's my thing. I like to pop them in there too because it segments the the ribs and such and gives them a little more definition. Somebody called me out on that the other day and said, you know, you do that to every piece. Well, yeah, I guess I do. I guess I do. I hadn't even really noticed it, you know, until then. But it's still pretty cool. Glad you guys are noticing. That means my style's picking up. So that's a good thing. Kind of put this in here. Pop in a little shadow there. Underneath that helmet. A little bit back there. Make him really pop off there. And no, I didn't forget the little horned emblem on his hood of his the face of his helmet there. Just doing a little more work first. Really digging that. Putting in a little more detailing on this cape. I'm going to put a deep fold right here. Now, I normally wouldn't do that, but on Magneto, the way he's got his cape is pleated really heavy, so that's okay to do that on that one. You know, it's not like most capes. Like Superman's not, you know, a character that has a pleated cape as heavy as that. Batman has a heavy pleated one. A couple of the other characters do too, but primarily Magneto and Batman, they have pretty hard, thick capes. So it would be heavy leather kind of things. So we'll go with that and make it pop up like that. It's coming out all right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the some more of the defined work on the helmet here. Just firming it up a little bit for the ornamentation. And we're going to go over to kill another pop-up. Stop that. Now I'm going to go with my design, which is this one right here. I like to put this on him. It's almost like it's pointed, but it's not. It's just a little oval shape. And then I come in and put this ridge right here on either side, which I'm going to have to go high with that one because it's on this side of his helmet. And then put the little horns on there. And there we go. I'm going to put a little shadow on this side because I want the light coming in from this angle on the helmet so that I can put in this big reflection and then a drop shadow. Put in that reflective side. And then I'm going to go over here, a little highlight right there. I'm going to go back up across the jaw a little bit. And then I'm going to have that shade down. So now we have the main light over here off the top. And then we have a little bit of a drop shadow in the back. That's what lights that up. And it's not necessarily coming down on him hard. It's just a soft light from the top. But it's prominent enough to be right over him. So that's the reason for that. And then we'll have the blue energy coming off of the hand. Putting a little bit of detail on these rivets. Not much, just a little. A lot of people like to really work these things and make them pop off, and I don't want to dig in that deep because I don't want them to get overworked. Because in my animated style, I will make this look just so bad if I go photorealistic. Another little shadow right here. And I'll let the paints take care of that. I don't want to mess with it too much. Just putting in a little bit of shading. I don't want to go overkill. So I'm going to put in a little more let's see, I'm going to put in a little more shadow over here. I don't know if I hesitate because I don't want to drop a big shadow and then mess up the backlight. Yeah, I'll shadow that part. See, I draw on the fly, you know. People say I've got this all laid out and stuff, you know. I'm just like anybody else. I do what I do, and that's it. I mean, it goes on the fly, man. A lot of people would complain about it and say, you know, you don't have a plan. But then other people go, well, you do this so well on the fly. And no, I'm just lucky. I pay attention, do the job, and get out. Lots of hard work, lots of practice. So I'm going to kick this out right here, and I'm going to leave this highlight on this glove because it's going to be purple. It's going to be purple. So knocking this one out. And Going to drop that shadow on the side of that thumb. That works. Going Kirby style and block it out just a little bit and throw shadow on there anyway because it's a dark fabric, which is something he used to do just to give it shape and form, whether it had it or not. He would go in and pop in a back shadow like this where part of it was covered no matter what. I used to love that. Reading those old books and come up with that, and just know that it was just boom. It will come right at you. Because a lot of people now will underlight these things, and there's light from this side and this side and this side, and I do that a lot too. But sometimes it's just good to go with the classic and just drop it down. Which, with this being more of a 80s or 90s style costume design, I'm going to go that route just to give it that kind of feel. Don't want to overwork it too much. Get in here and block out this knuckle. And block out this one. Go a little heavier on that one because this is going to be a laid side that is opposing this up here, because this is going to highlight the fingertips, and it's going to be this is the knuckles. This is the row of knuckles that are going to be facing us. So we're going to have these down here which are shadowed. You're going to minimal light on this one, and then you're going to have the highlights off of the energy field on this one. So that's the reason why we're doing it that way. Sorry, really focused on the drawing process today. So if everybody's wondering why I'm not talking a lot, that's why. Just really focused in on the process of getting it out there and getting it done so I can show you guys the representation here without screwing this up. Because this is a really neat layout and I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, that looks alright. Now, I'm going to go in and drop some highlight on this. This is the side of the glow. I'll go ahead and drop this in and shadow that out. Normally I would switch over to the 9, but this works. This works, this works, this works. Now I'll go in and put in these eyes. Let's see here. How do we want him to look? I think we'll cut him over this way. Like that. Tip that eye down just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. I want to get the edging in for this just a little bit. And Put in that drop shadow right there. Okay, now I'm not going to mess with this anymore. I'm going to step back. There we are done. There he is. You have Magneto. So, I think that we're going to call it on that one. I ran over a little bit longer than usual, but that's because I shaded everything in and got it going, and I just wanted you guys to have a really cool rendition of this character. Hope you dig it. And for tomorrow, which I will be doing earlier, after I have knocked out some more pages and gotten some stuff done, we have Strong Guy from X Factor. This one is going to be just a fan favorite of mine. I love this guy. He cracked me up when he came out in the 90s, and just everything about this character just resonates. The positive side of being a mutant, a guy that loves who he is, and a guy that loves everything about what he stands for and what he does. Strong Guy was just an incredible character to see happen, especially right around that early 90s edge when everybody was looking for new compatible characters with the fan base. So Strong Guy coming out tomorrow, and don't miss out. Just want to give everybody a heads up. On the 14th, Comic Kickstarter will be going regular on comickickstarter.com. We've got the first episode up there. If you haven't checked it out yet, please feel free to check it out again. Again, as in me saying it. So check it out and go over there, take a look. And if you've listened to it once before, listen to it again. You'll get something else out of it. And we're going to be posting that up on the 14th. And what else do I have going this week? Oh man, it's middle of the week, and I'm trying to see what's going on this weekend. Going to be doing a couple of how-to things for you guys. I got asked about it off air quite a bit, and I'm going to be putting up a couple of how-to videos. So that's a nice little thing that I'm going to be doing. Hopefully this weekend for you guys. I'll do them here on live for you, and we'll check it out and see how it goes from there. It won't be a daily thing, but I'll do a couple of videos for, a short series on them and pump some stuff out. Also got some new artwork coming for you. And Lone Rider #1 is coming up. Lone Rider Frontier Galaxy #1 is coming up from Firestorm. You guys need to check that out here in the next little bit. I'm going to have some release stuff going on and a pretty cool little opening for it. So, anyway, catch you tomorrow.